cozy. What's up, Chris Metzen?
Of the War Within, the first dramatic chapter of the World Soul Saga. We've seen the adventure take us into the depths of the world, and even to worlds. What's up, everybody? Cast out in the great dark beyond. End of the War Within.
Seen our villain
Zalatat.
I hear it twice.
Running around and amassing untold power. Adventure take us. We've seen her siphon the energies of Dalaran, and even to worlds, and even those of the black blood beneath Ajkahet.
I suddenly got sound on YouTube as well.
Zalatath assumed the power
Turn it up, okay.
of the last Void Lord, Dimensius.
Is that better?
So the question remains, what will she do with all that power?
Good, okay.
And what are her intentions relative to our precious world soul?
Perfect, okay, awesome.
So now, as
more?
midnight descends, and the second, darker chapter of our trilogy begins, Zalatath has returned to Azeroth, leading an army known as the Devouring Host, intent on snuffing out the light of the Sunwell and plunging the world into darkness. You, the heroes of Azeroth, will be set on a collision course with Zalatath to save not only Azeroth itself, but everything that is.
Everything. Refreshened Silvermoon is actually so nice.
Hi everyone. As we kick off our Midnight Alpha, we'd like to give you all a deep dive into what's in store. We want to recap everything we've shared so far, along with some brand new details. Today we're going to talk about the story of Midnight, as well as the zones, dungeons, delves, and raids that await if you want to save our world from Zalatath. We're also going to talk about some big new features coming in Midnight, like Prey and the Devourer Demon Hunter specialization. And of course, let's not forget housing. Thank you so much for joining us today. And as always,
did we hear about Prey before?
Part of this amazing community, for choosing to spend your time in Azeroth and with each other. Now, without further ado, let's see what's in store for our home away from home. After all, it's nearly midnight.
After all, it's nearly midnight. Okay, dude. We did?
The void storm rages in the sky, a surging vortex of shadow and chaos. Zalatath has returned. Wielding the dark heart, she carves a path of destruction through once tranquil
She looks so
lands.
cool.
Her all-consuming goal, devour the heavens, blot out all light, and bring about her midnight. It is in the shadow of this swirling storm that the defenders of Azeroth must rally once more. For peace, for the light, for the good. This is not a battle. It is a reckoning. At the Sunwell, that eternal bastion of light and hope, Lady Liadrin and Lord Themar Theron lead the Blood Elves as they prepare to make their final stand. Because across all worlds and all stories, one thing never changes. Home is worth fighting for.
Home!
Welcome to World of Warcraft Midnight.
Midnight. Welcome home.
Your story begins on the Isle of Quel'Danas. In the immediate aftermath of Zalatath's invasion, the Sunwell surges with light, calling out to all heroes of Azeroth
Silvermoon
for
is gonna
aid,
be so beautiful.
while the vile creatures of the Void wage a relentless assault in the hopes of extinguishing it once and for all. Flying monstrosities attack from darkened skies, and malign foes manifest without warning to wreak havoc across the plateau. Stand true with the champions of Azeroth.
I actually remember a few years ago, somebody asked Ian,
for if the sun
what the heck,
falls,
Silvermoon, when are we gonna get flying? When is it
does
gonna,
the
you know,
world.
be updated? It looks so old. And he's like, we would need like an expansion where Silvermoon is relevant to then consider it.
Directly into Silvermoon City.
Maybe he knew.
But not the one
was years
you
ago.
know. The renewed light of the Sunwell symbolizes Silvermoon's revitalization, shining
Nuclear
over
hub.
a city fully restored.
I remember.
to a
You remember it,
thriving,
yeah?
Living
He
capital.
knew, right?
Familiar landmarks
knew.
gleam with fresh polish, while new areas like the Sanctum of Light and the Garden of Remembrance offer countless nooks and stories to explore. Inside the city walls, the threat of Xalatath's war draws the Alliance and Horde into wary cooperation, with shared spaces hosting common services like trainers, the auction house, vendors,
Yeah, there's going to be one part
more.
of the Silvermoon City which is going to be
Around
Horde
a
only.
third of the city remains off limits
1/3
to those under the
of the
Lion's
city.
banner. So the Alliance allegiant should tread lightly or risk being attacked on sight. Outside the city walls, however, is where your role in the fight against the Void really begins to take
It's
shape.
so beautiful. Eversong Woods.
The strength of the Sunwell infuses Eversong Woods with restorative energy.
How does it work if
healing
you
much of the damage
make
of
a new
wars
Blood Elf and
past,
play the
and filling
starting
the zone
area?
with new growth and new
Do you see all this
life.
new stuff?
All of what you remember of this lush, thriving forest is here. But Eversong is also a reimagined landscape of increased scale and greater
Probably
beauty.
different phase, but still new
Most
graphics,
noticeably,
right?
the Ghostlands and Eversong Woods are now joined into one large zone, which is itself joined to the Eastern Kingdoms. Eversong's
It's
flourishing
joined with
fluorescence
Eastern
is not
Kingdom.
without complication. Though the Sunwell's light is a boon to the environment, its
Have they
surging
said if we can
power
fly here?
causes pockets of light bloom, small groves of light-enriched growth, to experience surges of their own. The light bloom's rampant propagation, if left unchecked, threatens to smother all life under an overgrown
The art difference will
tangle.
be shocking. It's literally from
Your
WoW to WoW
adventures
2,
through
the
Eversong
difference.
will have you investigating the light bloom, dealing with the aftermath of a Hawkstrider chick gone wild, helping a suspicious apothecary with questionable motives, untangling the secrets of two feuding nobles, and even getting caught up in a sinister murder plot, alongside Magister Umbric as he works to crack the secrets of the Void. It is up to you how
Since
your
it's connected
story
now, I'd say
progresses
yes. I would
beyond
think so
Eversong
too, right?
Woods, with 3 available paths you can tackle in any order. Brave the ancient troll kingdom of Zulaman. Investigate the gnarled
Zulaman.
hidden roots of Harandar. Or accompany Arator on his journey to better understand the light, the void, and himself. Zulaman finds the Amani Troll Empire at one of its lowest points.
So it's
The
actually a
homeland
full-on
of
zone
Warlord
now?
Zuljin. Zulaman was once a place where Loa bestowed to the Amani their godly strength, and were devoutly revered in kind.
They already said we can
The
fly directly
temple
to all
still
zones.
stands,
That's awesome.
Weathered but proud. The eagle, the lynx, the dragonhawk, and the bear. Ascend windswept sky-scraping peaks, explore ruins shrouded in fog, traverse stormy wilds teeming with vicious beasts, and accompany Zuljara,
Is Zulaman gonna be a
granddaughter of
5-minute? It sounds like
Zuljin,
it's
and
a
the
whole zone
pragmatic
now,
pillar
or-
of strength
right?
now leading the Amani.
I
As
don't
she
think it's a
seeks
dungeon.
means to save her
Or is it?
people from void-aligned cultists and the monsters they revere. The Amani are invaluable allies in the defense against Xalatath's invading force. If you help them
Allies.
fight for their home, they will help you fight for yours. At the confluence of the world tree's roots lies an impossible primordial jungle known as Harandar.
Harandar. Wait,
It
where's
is here
Harandar?
that Azeroth's
you explain
entire
where it
history
was?
wraps, twists, and braids, a literal entanglement of all that has been and all that will be. Harandar is a land of magical, powerful growth. Fungal towers, glowing moss bridges, and entire villages sprout from Harandar's wild, organic fabrics. The pulsing heart of this knotted tangle is the
The
cradle,
roots of the world tree?
once the domain of a nascent goddess, long vanished, and now the home of the Haranir,
Everything
who
is
have
close
for
to Silvermoon?
generations
Okay.
lived secretly under its soothing light. The reclusive Haranir are a proud and insular people. They have long avoided interfering in matters of the world above. But Xalatath's destructive ambition does not stop at the surface.
My stream
and
is
the
buffering,
Haranir
really?
can no longer afford the luxury of
Why?
neutrality. There is another way you can help with the defense of Azeroth against Xalatath's cruel machinations. Accompany Erator, son of Turalian, and Ilaria
But why only
Windrunner
me?
on a continent-spanning journey in the hopes of bolstering the Sunwell and strengthening the vanguard of the light. This story-driven adventure finds you traveling with Erator as he searches for sacred relics and attempts to peel back the
Works
mysteries
for
of the
me?
Void.
Okay.
All while
It's not buffering
grappling
for me,
with
'cause
his
you're on
own
YouTube.
relationships to
YouTube is
his
not having
family
issues.
and the light. Erator's mission brings new experiences to familiar locations. Defend Light's Hope Chapel from an attack by Scourge forces.
Light's Hope Chapel.
Fight through the darkened corridors of Scarlet Monastery to put to rest those who would pervert
is Scarlet
the
Monastery
light
a
for
new
their
dungeon?
own nefarious
This expansion?
gain, and work with Sunwalker Desco
Or is that
in
just an
Hammerfall
instant quest
to
line?
help Eretor in discovering the paladin he aspires to become. Eretor's story reaches its climax in the shadow of Blackrock Mountain, where alongside the Sons of Lothar, he must face the weight of his father's legacy and decide once and for all whether he is willing to rise to meet it. The raging center of an unraveling shadowy maelstrom
Voidstorm.
and the epicenter of Zalatath's power, Voidstorm overflows with violence, chaos, and hostility. Stormfields twist and fold its space. Gravity becomes untethered and tethers again. Insatiable void creatures known as Dominar stalk the storm, each one as unique and ancient as it is hateful and
So you're
hungry.
saying all of these zones
They
are close
carry on their
to
eternal
Silvermoon?
hunt for power under the black gaze of 3 enormous nexus points, hubs of the malicious dark energy Zalatath draws upon to fuel her void spar and conduct her
Okay.
unyielding assault against the Sunwell. Join Azeroth's champions and the Void
Do I
Elves
get 3
in their
wishes
quest
from the
to
genie?
understand what powers this storm and stave off its approach. Though much of the world of Midnight lies in the ominous shade of the encroaching void, there is at
Oh,
least one refuge for the weary, the Arcantina. What
The
began as a
Arcantina?
hidden
Oh,
sanctuary
wait, this is not
now a
housing?
not-so-secret tavern haven for Horde and Alliance alike. A big, cozy space filled by music, chatter, and life.
it's a hub.
If the
player
void is
hub.
the bleak and the cold,
But it looks like
the
housing. I think
Arcantina
they're using
is
the
its
same
opposite.
assets
A warm
as
spark
housing.
in the heart of every patron.
Maybe
It
to
is a
help
place
us,
to gather with
yeah, it's like a
friends,
tavern.
Find the perfect comfy sitting room.
It's the
or
new
just soak in
Goldshire.
the atmosphere of a well-traveled watering hole.
It actually looks really cozy.
As a crossway for people of all kinds, the Arcantina also serves as a source of new adventures.
They called it a
Familiar
narrative
faces
hub.
stop by here and there, spinning stories and
narrative
offering
hub mean?
quests that send you far across Azeroth in search of relics of the past. Follow the course they set for you to discover a fresh perspective on familiar locations. Zalatath is determined in her destiny, an unrelenting foe with an army that never sleeps. But you can't live every moment in grim resistance. The Arcantina is always here, should you find yourself in need of a little respite.
A respite. That's actually so nice. Very cozy.
The mysteries
does that
of the
mean it's, like,
origins of
instanced?
the
It's
void
not in the real
and the
world?
knowledge and power to stop it are not to be found only on the surface. For true deliverance, as always, hides in snarled labyrinths, looming temples, deadly ruins. These delves, dungeons, and raids are the real font of power, the sacred and defiled spaces from which strength is not just earned, but taken.
Just a zone like any other in the world.
Across this void-darkened world hide myriad delves overflowing with incalculable danger. Located on the Isle of Quel'Danas, Parhelion Plaza is an outdoor delve that drops you into the
Parhelion
heart of
Plaza.
the defense of the Sunwell. Fight against the surge of the Void's attack by restoring Parhelion's defenses, commanding an artillery of light, ducking into pocket dimensions, and putting down Gladius Slana, a Dominar who uses summoned Voidwalkers as weapons against your stand. Expect to plunge the depths of 9 other delves and one seasonal nemesis
9
delve
other delves.
when midnight launches. You do not have to face these delves alone. Valera Sanguinar is a powerful new companion with a rogue-minded approach to problem-solving. As a DPS, her killing spree
Valera!
ability has her moving through the shadows to lash out
That's
at
gonna be so
multiple
nice.
enemies.
I'm tired
As a
of
healer,
Bran.
she uses vampiric reaping to rip away the life force of enemies into orbs you can collect to heal.
It's enough.
And as a tank,
Enough, Bran.
she uses your first mistake to taunt and do
The
damage
wounds.
over time to any enemy that
The
turns their back
Rubian.
on her. To
What's
attack
his line?
her ally.
Don't stand on
Valera is
the
also a prolific
web.
provider of poisons that, depending
What is
on
this?
her role, empower
This
you
is
with
Delves.
more damage,
So we'll be
better
with her
avoidance,
instead of Bran now.
increased speed, and more.
Don't stand there. No, don't stand in them.
Your adventures in Midnight
Those
eventually
webs will
lead you
spawn
down
the
darker
Rubians.
paths,
Don't
paths
step
that
on them.
end in overgrown corridors and ruin-stricken relics, forgotten places of powers best left unstirred. Yet these dungeons promise plunder worthy of the peril, should you have the courage to overcome the challenges within. Windrunner
Those
Spire,
webs will
the former
summon the
residence
Rubians.
of the Windrunner
Don't
family,
stand in them.
haunts the skyline of Eversong
Oh, it's
Wood's western
beautiful.
shore. The
Windrunner
strained
Spire.
relationship of its namesake sisters, Varisa, Sylvanas,
I've never
and
heard this
Valeria,
voice line. Do you not do
imbues its
delves?
halls with a sullen, spiteful energy. The
With game
restless
sounds?
spirits bound to this animosity threaten all who draw near. Among these spirits walks the Windrunner's sole brother, Lirith, who needs your help in quelling this restlessness and clearing his once great home of hate.
Do you
Serenity,
even
however,
delve, bro?
is not so easily claimed.
I hear on your
There are
bot
other
stream.
forces
Would you
that
not hear
seek
from your
dominion
own?
over this domain. Emberdawn, a fire-colored dragonhawk, claims the dilapidated gardens of the Spire as a nest for her young. She is fiercely territorial, answering intruders with both talon and flame. The derelict duo comprised of the Banshee Callis and her loyal abomination Latch lead a band of fanatical undead in a hunt for relics tied to Sylvanas. They meet outside interference with a mix of shadowy magic and brute strength. Commander Krolok, a merciless orc who oversaw countless conquests during the Second War that took Lirith Windrunner's life, stalks the Spire with an insatiable bloodlust. Since being slain in vengeance by Aleria,
Wait, what is
Krolok
this?
knows only torment and the desire to pass it on. The restless heart, a concentrated whirlwind of grief
Is this
and
like a
suffering,
questline
born
example?
from the conflict of the Windrunner sisters, envelops all who remain in turbulent
Oh, it's a
turmoil.
dungeon. Okay.
This swirling
Oh,
spectre
Windrunner
takes
Spire
the
is a
form of
dungeon.
ranger,
Okay.
combining the power of the wind with volleys of arrows to cut down the uninvited. Windrunner Spire was, at one point, a living embodiment of family and of legacy. With the help of Lirith and your allies, you can make it so once more. 7 more dungeons await you in Midnight, each one crawling with the cutthroat and the craven. Magister's Terrace and Murder Row in Eversong
Magister
Woods,
Terrace.
the Den of Nalorak and Mysara Caverns
A
in
revamped
Zulaman,
Magister Terrace?
Blinding Veil in Harandar,
Do you think
and
we'll
the
get a
Voidscar
revamped
Arena
Chicken
and
Mount?
Nexus Point Zenith in Voidstorm. The most tyrannical antagonists of Azeroth work their dark deeds from within Midnight's 3 new raids. The Void Spire, where 6 bosses hold court over the heart of the Void and muster against the amassing vanguard of the light as it readies to storm
Revamped,
the
no,
walls
recolored,
of
yes.
Xalatath's stronghold.
The Hawk
The
Strider.
Dream
Yeah, I
Reef,
mean, isn't there
where
like a
you
more
must
modern
join in
version of the
hunt
Hawk
for an
Strider?
undreamt god that
I
never
don't think they
should
would do
have
the
been,
same. Like
and
it's
put down half-birthed
those old
abominations
ones,
that
very
lash out
few
against
polygons.
existence itself. And the march on
Right?
Quell Danas, an encounter still shrouded
I don't
by
think
the
they would do a
fog of
recolor
war.
of that
Beyond
older
the known
amount.
presence of Beloren, the void-corrupted phoenix, who stakes a ceaseless watch over the entrance to the chambers beyond. The void threatens to end all of Azeroth, to rend the world in the squall of a black tempest. But the extraordinary power it carries does provide opportunities to
Is
those
it called the
heroes
Magic
willing
Booster?
to
The
embrace
Magister
it.
Terrace one?
Devoured demon hunters bend the void to their will, ripping void fragments from their enemies and using them as the power source for cataclysmic spells. They
TCG?
are
Oh, it's not
mid-range
gonna be
damage
TCG one, of
dealers,
course not.
armed with a summonable void scythe, darting in and out of the fray as they dance on the line between
Swift
control
White Hawkstrider,
and
that's it,
chaos.
yes.
Voidblade and Hungering Slash work in concert. Dash into melee range to deliver a series of crushing void scythe attacks. Then
Oh my
use Vengeful
god!
Retreat to escape
Wait, this
the
class
enemy's
actually looks fun, or
reprisal.
the spec.
You can also start this combo off with a Void-charged The Hunt. Metamorphosis transforms you into a familiar state of cursed power.
Metamorphosis?
The more you feed it, the longer
Don't mind
it
me
lasts.
crying in Warlock.
Ride the wave of annihilation by tearing apart souls and staying alive.
This is why we should
Reap
not
is a
introduce
sweeping
new
side
classes to the
attack
game.
that
They
consumes
just
all
steal
of your
stuff.
soul fragments for one massive burst of damage. Use Void Ray to cut through enemies in a straight line and leave them smoldering. Collapsing Star channels the immense energy of a dying star, focusing
Oh,
it
that's
into
so
one single
cool!
destructive
Throwing the
blast.
ball of void.
The more you cast it during your Void Metamorphosis, the stronger
throw
it
it.
gets.
That's cool.
Demon hunters also find themselves with new disciples in Midnight. Void elves are sharpening their war glaives and joining the hunt.
Joining the hunt.
Newly awakened to the dire threat of Midnight, the Haranir join the fight for the surface.
Warlock was the class that stole Metamorphosis because that skill was already DH skill in
Haranir
Warcraft
are
3.
deeply entwined
Well,
with the
DH
organic
was never a
world.
class in WoW.
Theirs
And it should have
is a
stayed
culture
that
shaped
way.
not by cities
That's
or by
my point.
conquest, but by the roots, the stones, the quiet pulse of the deepest breath of the world. Their armor, their weapons, their skin, all are infused with the inner light of organic
Allied race?
power. Even the
Wrong? What do you
mightiest
mean
primordial
wrong?
predator in Harandar knows to fear the telltale luminescence of a Hananir's markings in the dense jungle brush. They are primal, ferocious hunters, a force of nature unto themselves, who possess the racial ability to travel along the roots of the world, from Harandar to any world tree, or from anywhere back to Harandar. Haranir are versatile warriors who can choose from a wide range of paths.
I will make a Harandar
including
shaman.
those of the warrior,
Are we getting
hunter, rogue,
2 allied races?
priest,
Amani and
shaman,
Harandar?
mage, warlock,
Maybe?
monk,
Wait,
and
that's like every
druid.
class.
The
Even
last of
Warlock?
which has all new forms that
Oh, look
reflect
at those
the Haranir's
forms!
unique connection to those hidden parts of the earth.
Oh my god, that looks so cool. Wait, was that the Boomkin form?
Prey is a secret
Did you see
opt-in
that?
initiative run out of Silvermoon City by Astalor Bloodsworn, a blood elf with what some might call a
Yeah, the prey
colorful
feature.
past. Astalor is after one thing: anguish, a powerful magic siphoned from Azeroth's deadliest threats. And he's offering generous compensation to heroes who are courageous or foolhardy enough to go chase it. Astalor's lair in Murder Row is your base of operations for Prey, the place where you pick your targets, track your progress, and collect your rewards, including cosmetics, mounts, titles, and housing items.
Mounts.
The deeper you go, the harder the challenges, and the more you unlock. Prey has 3 difficulties. Normal, which serves as an introduction to the system, along with offering
His head is so
plenty of challenge.
small.
Hard, where the ambushes get meaner and the encounters more intense. And Nightmare, which is just about the fastest way to gain intimate knowledge of Midnight's many new and scenic graveyards. Prey can ambush you at any time, whether you're
Nightmare.
questing, exploring, or
Is
minding
this a
your own
solo
business.
adventure? Or
Each
like
time
solo
you
feature?
defeat your target, you increase your advantage by tiring them out and
Solo
buying
challenge?
time to find whatever dark hole they're hiding in. Higher difficulties incorporate torments, personal afflictions that only impact you. Torments cause a wide range of effects, like creating an AoE damage puddle under recently deceased foes, or haunting you with a bloody spirit that deals lethal
Bloody
damage when it
spirit.
catches you. A torment can also manifest in the form of Astalor's impatience, forcing you to make a kill within a specific time limit before Astalor simply extracts his payment from you. Prey targets are all different, and all deadly.
High difficulties are
Magister
solo?
Sunbreaker, a disgraced blood elf whose reckless magic is a threat to Silvermoon
I
and
wanted like
everyone
more solo
near it.
challenges in the game,
High
like
Vindicator
Mage Tower.
Vareem,
But maybe
a
this
zealot
is
who
like
believes
a
the void can only be
built
defeated
into the
by covering
world
the
type of
entire
challenge?
world in holy flame, and is ready to put that belief to the test. Executor Canius, a sadistic dominar whose primary hobby is murdering anyone foolish enough to challenge his martial prowess. Prey is a way to add excitement, unpredictability, and challenge to your journey through Midnight.
Oh, this is meant for casuals,
But
not
be
like
warned,
Mage Tower. Okay.
There's a reason Astalor
Even
isn't
Nightmare
chasing
is
these
casual?
targets himself. For those who tread the worn paths and soaring skyways of Azeroth, it is more than a world, more than story, character, or conflict. Azeroth is, and always will be, home. Housing in Midnight is dedicated to that ineffable feeling
Yeah.
of being part of something bigger, of something greater, of living a real life as a true part of a real world. Housing in WoW is built to give you boundless self-expression in the place you call yours.
Whoever designed these rooms,
Collect
by the way,
hundreds of
is so
decorations
good.
and dive deep on customization. Place, rotate,
I'm gonna need a
scale,
interior designer.
and move items to your heart's content.
Help me look.
This
Help
is
me
more
make it
than
look
changing
cozy.
a coat of paint or choosing a different picture frame. It's a sandbox for your imagination. World of Warcraft has over 2 decades of content, and the time you've spent
What
in
is this?
Azeroth over the years
Pinned by
will yield a
Warcraft?
bounty of
Rotate?
housing
Question mark,
rewards.
question mark.
Milestones like completing your Legion Order Hall campaign or finishing completionist achievements like Back to the Beyond will award housing items post
Oh, Prey
facto.
even has loot
You'll
rewards. I
also earn
see.
decor through dungeons and raids, reputation vendors, achievements,
Oh my
quest
God.
lines, housing endeavors,
donut
the
store?
auction house, holidays and live events, and crafting. All professions from all expansions can craft decor. Search the world for lumber,
What is that?
a new gathering resource, and use it to craft decorations that can be bought and sold.
A new
on the
gathering
auction
resource.
house.
Also, we cut trees?
Many housing-specific items can be dyed, giving you greater control of the finer details of decorating.
We gonna cut
Imagine
trees?
your dream home. Collect and craft the decor to bring it to reality. Then tweak it until it is just right. Floor plans are flexible. You can rotate and stack rooms to create
Yeah, we saw
multi-floor
this
structures.
at Gamescom.
A variety of room types and shapes are available, including normal squares and rectangles, L and T hallways, as well as some more fantastical configurations. Advanced mode takes the toolset even further, allowing you to adjust each piece of decor exactly as you want. Rotate, float, scale, and more.
Is
to
that
make
two
your
people
home a
designing the same
perfect
house?
reflection of your taste.
Did you see
And
that?
that's just the inside. The outside of your house is also customizable.
Oh my
Place your
god.
home how you
A
want it on your plot.
garden!
Add fountains, statues,
Oh my
planters,
God.
and more. Change out your windows. Pick the perfect chimney. Add a tower, and decide on the door of your dreams. Exterior plots also have the same advanced mode as interiors for even more modification. At Midnight's official launch, you'll have a choice between exterior themes based on orcs, humans, blood elves,
It
and
looks so
night elves.
cozy, the entire neighborhood.
These aren't just skins. They're full architectural styles with unique customization options. Orc homes feature
Also,
high
the outside
rooftops,
affects the inside.
bonfires, and rugged surfaces. Human homes are rustic, with sturdy stone walls, warm wooden floors, and colorful banners. Level up your house to unlock more flexibility.
Purple!
New rooms and floors, bigger house sizes, increases in the number of spots for decor, and more.
Increases
Every
decor.
house is in a shared zone known as a neighborhood, where you and others can show off your homes, build
like walking
community,
down the
and
street.
participate in rolling challenges to earn housing rewards. Neighborhoods feature a wide variety of biomes, from spooky forests and coastal plains in Founder's Point to lush oases and windswept bluffs in
Oh my
razor-wind
god.
shores. All contain
Don't fall
different
for it,
kinds
it's the
of
jailer's
plots.
plan.
Some
It's
are
okay, the
secluded
jailer is
and
defeated,
quiet,
right?
while others are
Right.
clustered for the socially vibrant. Your neighborhood is faction-coded in its aesthetics, but not faction-exclusive in its residency. You have the choice between two types of neighborhood. Private neighborhoods where guilds or groups of friends can form their own space. Public neighborhoods where you'll find a home among friends you haven't met yet.
That's really
Private
cool.
neighborhoods come in two varieties. Guild neighborhoods, which scale to fit your guild roster, and charter
What if you have
neighborhoods,
900
which
people
are
in your
capped at
guild?
50 homes and are perfect for tight-knit communities.
Wait, 50 is for tight
Endeavors
knit.
are monthly neighborhood-wide activities that bring everyone together to complete tasks, unlock themed decorations,
Neighborhood
and contribute to helping your
activities?
neighborhood evolve.
Guys, if you're not
Participate in
contributing, I'm
endeavors to
kicking you
earn
out.
House XP and community coupons that give you access to exclusive
Yeah, you need those
decor.
coupons and give them to
Above
me.
all, housing is designed to help you find your perfect space and transform it to your own fantasy haven. To create your own home, sweet home.
He said it! Home, sweet home.
And there you have it. Thank you so much on behalf of the entire World of Warcraft team for joining us for this overview of Midnight.
Oh
And
my
if after what you
god.
just saw, you can't wait to get your hands on housing, don't worry, because it's coming your way if you have Midnight in early December of this year. Thank you again, and we'll see you in Azeroth.
In 2 months. Early December, confirmed. Also coming with Midnight, Slayer's Rise, new epic battleground. Exiles Reach update. Okay, so like new player experience. Lore walking updates. Okay. Situational outfit swapping. Oh yeah, they talked about this before, right? Apex talents. It's like the new hero talents, right? Nameplate customization. Cooldown manager. We have this already, kind of. Combat assistant. Yeah, we have that. Death recap. We already have death recap, right? I guess just improvements to it.
Friends, we hope you've enjoyed this deeper look at Midnight. But as you can see, this fight is far from over. The drums of war thunder once again. And Azeroth needs
yeah, it
her
looked the same,
champions
didn't it? I don't
now,
know.
more than ever.
Now more than ever. Midnight! Coming 2026. It's a Q&A after this, right? Holy hell, he looks old now, damn. He is older, you know? It's like time has passed. Yes, you know, we get older. You know, I'm kind of waiting for like the time when people will start tuning into my stream and be like, oh damn, Annie got old. Because I know it's gonna happen if I'm still streaming, right? Because right now, I guess I haven't like visibly aged that much, but like soon people will start saying it to me. And I've been thinking about it, like how will I feel if when people start saying that? Damn, you got old. Yeah. I think I had one person once say I put on weight. It's like, damn, I've been here for a while. She put on weight, and I was like, yeah, well, I guess I did. But yeah, a rude bit. Yeah, I know. People are really rude sometimes. I think it makes people feel better about themselves. So like they point out other people like putting on weight or looking old or whatever sometimes just because like they feel bad about themselves. I'm not saying everyone who points it out feels that way, but when they have to say it directly to the person, yeah. This post about neighborhoods, don't think you ever checked it. No, I don't think I did. Let's see. And I'm gonna go purple hair for midnight? No, no. No purple hair for midnight. Maybe a wig, but I'm not gonna dye my hair. I have public neighborhoods, private neighborhoods. Wait, so were the neighborhood activities, was that already here as well? Endeavors, yeah. Yeah, okay. Zala mommy cosplay, maybe I'll bring it back. Because I have part of it, but I need to get a new wig because my wig has a fringe and it's a bit weird because she doesn't have a fringe, so I may need to get a new one. My GF does something else. If she's feeling down, she watches documentary or movies show people having it worse than her. Honestly, that's a very smart thing to do. Yeah. What are we gonna do in our first guild activity? Save the tree, it seems? Valshara Endeavor? Can you please ban me? I'm genuinely thinking of maining the new Demon Hunter spec. I'm disgusted with myself. It's okay, your excuse. It does look pretty cool. Oh, is this like a neighborhood renown level? Oh, no, no, no. This is your own, Wait. Wait, neighborhood favor is used to level up your house and earn rewards, while the endeavor currency is used to buy decorations from the visiting NPCs. So you earn endeavor by doing group activities, and then you can spend them to buy upgrades? Something like that? We've designed. What happens if I don't like my neighbors / neighborhood? We've designed this to be frictionless and straightforward, so you can just get up and move. You can choose to relinquish a house at any time, at which point your house estate will be saved, ready to be unpacked with a click when you purchase a new house elsewhere. When you move out, there's a regret timer started, so if you change your mind before purchasing a new house, you can move right back in. Once you buy a new place or the time lapses, your old house will go back up for sale and another player can buy it. It's worth calling out that if you're evicted from a private neighborhood, your house is also packed up too. That's really convenient. That's nice. So it's not like complicated if you need to move for whatever reason. That's nice. Can people just walk into my yard / house? It depends. We want your house to be your space and for you to feel safe there, but also recognize that some people are more social. To that end, both your plot and your house have independent permissions that can be set to allow or deny friends, guildmates, neighbors, or anyone. This lets you, for example, allow anyone onto your plot, but only friends and guildmates inside. Of course, these permissions can be changed at any time if you want to make it private for a book club meeting in the afternoon and then open it up for a dance party at night. These permissions are frequently checked, so if you do change them, it will remove anyone whose permissions are no longer valid. Cool. You can kick people out of the house. What if like someone is in the guild neighborhood, but then I don't like them? What if I want to kick them? I guess if you're evicted from a private neighborhood, I guess that's what it is, right? Not only is it single player content, but you could lose your spot in the cluster, everything you've worked for if you have a social fallout. I mean, you're only losing that social neighborhood. You can just move your house to a new neighborhood, right? And you don't have to join a guild neighborhood where you could get kicked out. You could join like a public one. I don't think anyone can kick anyone out on a public one, right? But you keep your house progress. You don't lose anything. Now Annie can make us homeless in WoW. No, you still keep your home. You just may not be in that neighborhood. But you keep your home. You can't be kicked in public? Yeah. So if you're in a public one, then you can't get kicked. Okay, what is the show? You could be friends with 49 of 50 and who then decides to kick you out? Probably the guildmaster? If it's a guild neighborhood. Like, yeah, I don't know. It depends on what the social circle is, right? The owner of the guild makes sense, right? Can we kick Annie if we all vote on it? Well, if I'm the guild master, then I don't think you can kick me out. Then I am the dictator. How many minutes left now? 2 minutes. I'd imagine it auto removes a person's house after G-kick. I would assume so, but I don't know for sure. Yes, it does? Okay. Honestly, I think that's the best way to do this. Can anyone start a private neighborhood, or do you need to be guild? Like, can I just start it with 3 friends even if we're not guildies? Anyone can? Can I start a neighborhood for just myself? Oh, you need minimal amount of people. Okay. So maybe you have like paper that people sign or something. A charter sign. Okay. I feel like this is the best where I met, but people hype it up to be 10 out of 10. I don't know why. I mean, I'm not sure if anything much is hyped up, except housing. I think people are really excited about housing. I think we've been wanting housing for so many years that it just feels nice to finally have it. And I think also both Dragonflight and War Within have been good expansions. People have been positive about both. So I think that also makes them positive about the next one. Rumor house shouldn't be such an issue because it will be saved and can be unpacked in another neighborhood with the click of a button. Yeah, no, it's really convenient. Sure, but what about the people? Not the pixels? But I mean, piece of panic, like, what do you mean? Do you want Blizzard to, like, handle your friendship? Like, at the end of the day, it's a social game, right? So, yeah, like, you have to talk to people. And, yeah, if the guildmaster doesn't like someone, they can remove someone. It makes sense, right? In, like, a social environment. I think from what they've done, this is as frictionless as it could be. I think the system sounds really good. If a group of people don't want you in their neighborhood, why would you want to stay there? Yeah, exactly.
Hello, we are live.
My neighbors
Welcome
IRL
to the
don't get to
World
say
of
if I have to
Warcraft
pick up and
Midnight
leave.
Q&A.
Yeah, but this is a
I'm Randy
game.
Jordan, and I go by Kyvax
It would be
on the
really annoying
Warcraft
if I'm
community
forced to
team.
be with guildies that I don't
We
want,
recently asked
right?
WoW players on
I'm playing a
forums
game,
and
it's my
social media
guild.
sites to submit questions, and you delivered.
Like, if I could not kick people, that's awful.
We've got 3 leaders of the WoW development team here. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm AnnieFuchsia, Game Director on WoW.
Hi, my name is Paul Cubitt. I'm
Is this a
Associate
bit
Game
low or
Director
is
on
it
World of
fine?
Warcraft, working on the Midnight expansion.
Hi, I'm Maria Hamilton. I'm the Design Director for WoW.
We got a lot of questions, and I want
A
to
bit
get
low,
right
yeah.
to them. We're going to start with some housing questions. So, Cyglaive on the forums asked, it actually said, during a Gamescom interview, it was mentioned that Horde players would be able to use Alliance-style housing exteriors and vice versa. However, in a recent blog post, it was stated that the housing styles would be faction-locked. Can we get clarification on that?
Yes, there was a bit of confusion definitely around the Gamescom messaging there. As we just saw in the deep dive video, the neighborhoods ultimately are anchored in specific locations in the world. If you are in the Alliance neighborhood, you are on the outskirts of Stormwind in the Elwyn area. If you are in the Horde neighborhood, you're on the outskirts of Orgrimmar. While private neighborhoods can be cross-faction, you can have your guildmates, you can have your friends of the opposite faction move in, the general setting, the exterior houses there are going to reflect the location. The NPCs that are wandering around the neighborhood, again, are anchored in that place in the world. Maybe something that we revisit down the line, but for the time being, if you're in the
It's
Horde
still low?
neighborhood, the home exteriors need to reflect
it still low?
the Horde aesthetic. Take that up with the Orgrimmar HOA if there's a concern.
Speaking of things wandering around, a player named Hey Hey on the EU Spanish forums asked, I know there are plans
Yeah,
for
okay.
combat pets to appear in housing. Are there also plans for hunter pets?
Yes, so pets are something in general that we're working towards. At release in Midnight, battle pets won't be available to be placed just yet. I think something that we need to solve to make that work on the engineering side is actually making sure that they can path and move comfortably around whatever configuration of objects you might happen to place in your home or in your yard. So we are planning on delivering that shortly after launch. Alongside that, we do want to add the ability to place your mounts in your mount collection. If you want to
like a
have
stable?
them on a hitching post in your yard, that's something we'd love to deliver as well. Hunter
Even
pets are
Garrison had
probably
that, right?
trickier. Those are character specific, and
Even Garrison had
housing
your
is an
mounts.
account-wide system really tied to your warband, and so pulling from specific.
So it should be easy if
characters,
they've
hunter
already
pet
done it
stable
with a
would
much more limited
probably be
system.
much more challenging. I'll never say never, but that's not in the plans currently.
Decor. Bjorky on Reddit asked, how will the trading post housing items work? Let's say there's a chair on the trading post. Will we have to buy the chair multiple times if we want a set of 4 in our house? Will there be a 10-chair bundle for a set price? Or will the purchase give us infinite amount of chairs?
This is something we spent a good amount of time thinking about. There's going to be lots of ways that you can get decor starting in 11.2.7 and then into Midnight through achievements, through crafting, through completing just the campaign of Midnight and so on. And we ran into a lot of the same questions that you asked, the person who asked this question.
Yes.
Yes, and for that reason, we're actually just not going to have them on the trading post, at least for the first few months. There should be plenty of other ways that you could start gathering decor for your house. And then you won't have to make that hard decision between, do I want this chair versus this cool mount or cool transmog?
Another question comes from Xanther on the forums. Xanther asked,
Remove
how will
Malefic Rapture
outdoor
and bring
housing
back you
plots
a
work?
Spender
If I want
Affliction?
a certain
Really?
plot and it's taken, do I have the option to try another instance?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's
Essentially,
cool.
when you want to move house, you're just going to say, "Yep, it's time to move." It's all going to get packaged up for you. Paul likes to say that a mage comes along and puts it into an arcane ball for you. Don't know if that's actually,
That is what happens.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
not really answering the question.
And then you can go to wherever you'd like to sort of deploy your house, and it just comes
Well,
right
on the
back out
on the
of
topic
bubble,
of
set up
house, by the way,
exactly
if you
how
don't want to
had
get
it.
kicked out,
So
right?
you can move around
There are
neighborhoods.
public
You can move
neighborhoods.
around
In those you
different
can't get
plots
kicked.
within a neighborhood. Yep.
You can only
totally-
get kicked if
totally
you're joining
transportable.
a
Right on. Celia on
like
the
a
German WoW
private neighborhood.
forums asked,
And in that
will
case,
there
it's
be
your
updates
social
to the
job to
guild
make
system
sure that
in
people
Midnight?
like you.
I think
You know?
most of the updates we
And
see
if you
to the
don't like
guild
that
system are
pressure
going
of
to be
like
in the
needing to
form of
please
neighborhoods.
people, then you just go into
We
normal
expect to
one,
see a
right?
lot of guilds, especially
just go
guilds
to a
like
public
playing a
one.
lot actively with one another to build guild neighborhoods where you'll be able to live alongside one another. So instead of the typical ways you're interacting with one another in WoW, whether that's raid nights, Mythic Plus nights, PvP, whatever it is you choose to do, you might also just start running into one another in the morning when you go out to get the paper. And so really looking forward to seeing guilds build stronger connections based on those guild neighborhoods.
I think the other systemic trappings of the guild system are something that we know is definitely due for a refresh. Guilds obviously have been there since the beginning, and there's definitely room for improvement. Our focus for Midnight, though, really was on the housing integration side of it, and the rest of the system is something we hope to get back to in the near future.
A highly upvoted question on Reddit comes from Chilligok. Chilligok asked, will we ever get another texture update for older races? Especially compared to Earthen, the hairstyles are outdated now.
We do have a couple which are coming in Midnight. As you complete the Amani campaign in Zulaman, you will be able to unlock some cool cosmetics for Darkspear Trolls, some cool hairstyles, and actually skin colors as well. And so if you have any Darkspear Trolls on your account, you play through the campaign, you'll be able to get some cool customizations. And this is one of the ways that we do try to approach this is as it's appropriate to the story. We'll look for cool ways that you can integrate cosmetics into your own character. That's not the only way that we might do this, though.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's something that we see as an issue to chip away at over time. We want to roll out extra customizations, hairstyles, you name it, for the existing races to continue to bring them up to parity with the very newest options. It's not something we're able to do all at once, but particularly where it makes sense and fits the story, we're excited to keep adding them. Our long-term goal is to get to a place where every race, whether brand new or one of the original ones, has roughly the same number of options.
So, as we just saw in the deep dive and going
That was a
back
better
to the
answer.
Gamescom announcement, we have a system coming called Prey. And I have a couple of questions here about Prey. System of Cells on Reddit asked, will the Prey system make all mobs in the target zone more challenging, or only the Prey target plus world quests unique to that system?
Yeah, it will affect everything in the zone for you. So if you have chosen to go into the zone chasing a nightmare mode prey, everything is going to be much harder for you. It's based on
It sounds pretty cool,
an aura
honestly.
that's put on
It's like
you,
having hunts.
sort of like it's almost like an affliction in a way, or a torment. And as you move through that zone, it's going to be harder.
And the player in Prey
Yeah, Prey is a
on
new
their own?
system.
They are when they finally wear down that
Go
boss.
to Mr. Blind Quest
if
series
it's in
on
one of the
YouTube. Oh, for
harder
OSRS,
modes,
is it?
Then you need to go mano a mano. If it's in the normal mode, then the rest of the
I have
players
my
in the
whole
vicinity can help
RuneScape
you
journey
out.
on my VODs
Gotcha.
channel, which is entire
The
streams
WoW
of it.
creator
I will
Fandy
continue
asked,
posting
is
that.
the Prey system planned to be
Fandy!
a part of the World Row in Vault?
The specific highlight videos.
Yeah, in one way or another, as we
Honestly became too
build our
expensive for me to
expansion, one of
keep
the
up.
last things that comes in is
It's very
specifics on
expensive to
rewards.
pay
So we don't have
editors
the
for that,
specific details
and
now, but when we do look at Prey, we look at
I
it
don't
as
know if I'll
similar in
continue with
difficulty
it.
and sort of player activity to the type
If
of things that
interest
you do
for
in
it
Delve.
picks up, maybe,
And Delves do
but
take
yeah,
up
for
that
now I'll
bottom
just
row
stick to the
of
VODs, I
the
think,
World
on my
Row
VODs
in,
channel.
the Great Vault as well. So we do expect if you're running Prey, you're going to see better rewards in that row in one way or another.
Good. I want to get to one of the most highly upvoted questions we saw across all channels. This is from Weird Dandom Ally on Reddit. And that goes, any plans to rejuvenate the glyph system? All classes could take advantage of it for class visual customizations like warlocks have with their pets and druids with their forms.
Yeah, so there isn't a glyph overhaul planned for Midnight at launch in particular, but the general question of more customization for spell visuals, transforms, things along those lines, that's one that we're also very excited about and always looking to offer more
think glyphs
customization,
visuals is a smart
more
idea.
cosmetic self-expression where possible, and the glyph system is a great vehicle for this. It's not the only vehicle, but where it makes sense, that's definitely one of the avenues we would use.
Speaking of highly upvoted questions, we got a lot from the PvP community. I want to ask a few of those. So starting with Keth Cup on Reddit, the question is, do you have any plans on making PvP
Thank you,
less
Kanaris.
daunting
Yes,
for
that's
new
the
players?
playlist for all the RuneScape videos.
Absolutely do, yeah. We're
And I
really
will- I
excited
will
to
make-
introduce a new feature called Training Grounds.
continue keeping that
This
one
is a feature
up.
where players can enter battlegrounds, fighting alongside other players against game-controlled opponents. So instead of fighting against other PvPers, potentially people who have been playing this mode much longer than you, who have better PvP gear than you, and are going to wipe the floor with you, you'll be able to fight against some opponents, so you'll have a little bit more of a satisfying
the
win
floor
rate
with you.
against. And because of that, we think this will be a pretty good on-ramp for people who are PvP curious, who want to get into PvP, but feel like there's just too much of a steep on-ramp because of those daunting aforementioned players who want to wipe the floor with you. This is going to start with a couple battlegrounds that players will be able to jump into with Training Grounds, and we'll see where we go from there.
I think, we love PvP, broadly speaking. I think one of the challenges is it can be very daunting to get in, as the question implies. If you're getting into PvP for the first time, you're in some cases jumping into a pool that's filled with sharks who've been doing this for 20 years. But there's so much, there's nothing quite like World of Warcraft PvP and that style of conflict, that style of combat. And so really our philosophical approach as we move into Midnight to really try to rejuvenate and grow the scene is to broaden the base of that pyramid so we can kind of lift the whole thing up and help all levels of it, whether you are the most hardcore person competing for titles at the end of every season. Everyone will be better served if people feel like they can actually enter this community for the
There's a
first time
Pepe
and
there. Do you
discover
see
what
it?
is so great about WoW PvP.
Let's all be sharks.
So eventually.
The PvP player and creator known as Supatees had the
Supatees.
most highly upvoted question on our forums. He wrote, in the War Within, we saw major reward improvements and restructuring for Mythic Plus, which improved participation.
Oh,
Are there
did we?
plans to look at the current reward structure for PvP, such as rating cutoffs or additional rewards?
There are definitely plans to look at this. One thing I can say that will be changing at launch in Midnight and the first season of Midnight is that top tier cutoff coming down from 2,400 to 2,300 for those rewards and titles. I think looking at how MMR has evolved and how the rating ecosystem has played out.
Well, Gladiator
that's
is
been a bit
2.3 instead
too
of
exclusive
2.4?
even for some of our best players. Broadly speaking, beyond that, I think there's a lot more that we would like to do with the system. That's not necessarily going to be happening
I
right
think
at
rating
launch at
cutoff is
Midnight,
bad in
But if
general.
you look, for example,
I
at
think it
what
needs to
we
be like
changed with
League of
Mythic
Legends,
Plus
where it's like
and new titles and new structure and things like the
Emerald,
resilient
Diamond,
Keystone
etc.
system
Because then it's
in
based
War
on how
Within, those
active the
changes
season
came
is.
in War Within
Because
patches.
otherwise,
So
one
as we
season
look
2.3
to
is really
PvP
easy,
its
and then
evolution
another
over the
season
course of
2.3
Midnight,
is really
that's
hard, and
definitely
it
an
shouldn't
area
be
that
that
we want
way.
to focus on.
Got another one. Sandent on the WoW forums wrote, will War Mode receive more well-needed attention? More activities like zone objectives or rotating events? Maybe a free-for-all treatment?
Yeah, we're adding a whole new area into the Voidstorm zone, a giant war mode area which reflects the same space as the Slayer's Rise Battleground. If you watched the deep dive video, you got to see that. That Slayer's Rise is also made manifest in the zone itself. And this is, if you've played war mode in past expansions, you know that we've taken a couple war mode areas and had maybe one in each zone, one in Ringing Deeps and one in Isle of Dorn, where PvP, when you enable war mode, you'll have some special, unique activities. We took all those and glumped them all together right into this Slayer's Rise area, and so there's going to be a huge PvP playground if you have war mode on, be able to do lots of cool world-class activities, reasons to just kill one another, and even if you don't have war mode enabled, there'll still be PvP-themed content for folks doing world quests up in that area.
Why would you not have war mode enabled?
That's a very good question. Yeah.
As a
You're afraid of
streamer,
sharks?
Yeah, it's sharks.
good luck.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you. So, Maclemente26 on Reddit asked a question that we saw a lot of, which is, when can we expect reputations from expansions prior to Shadowlands to become Warbound reputations?
Ooh.
So yeah, taking full accountability here. I know that when we rolled out the warbands, we said that we were going to work our way backwards through reputations. We haven't made progress as quickly as we would have liked. We got some of the Shadowlands reputations, but not the Covenant ones. This is something we're going to pick up and resume. I can't commit to a definite timetable, but in the long run, we don't want this, internal disparity between how different expansions reputations are handled, and we'll continue to start with the most recent and work our way backwards.
Thank you. 610 on Blue Sky said, War Within is the first WoW expansion without a legendary. Can we expect anything in Midnight,
Oh,
or is
really?
the team
Is it?
taking time to reevaluate what place legendaries have in the modern game?
I think we always want to avoid things seeming formulaic, where it's like, okay, you can expect it's a new season, there's going to be a new legendary, this is how
That's
it's going
good.
to work.
I don't like that
Legendaries
either.
should always remain special. They
Yeah.
should feel like these are items that have clear stories behind them and feel worthy of that special orange color. And yes,
Cloak
we're
is
also
kinda
looking
legendary,
always
yeah,
at issues with how
but
they're
it's still
awarded.
not.
We want to make sure they feel special, but also
And I think
don't
that's
turn
good.
into
I think it's
something
good that there's a
where
bit
it
of
feels bad or
variety
grindy
and
because
cool
they feel
items.
required if
They
you want to
shouldn't
be
just all
competitive.
be
There's a fine line to
legendary.
walk there. There aren't currently any planned for the first tier of
And
Midnight.
it's still not posting to Blue Sky.
but
Honestly,
as
I'm
we,
barely posting on
face
Twitter.
certain
I do
foes
agree,
down
though.
the
I
line,
should post more,
it may make
and I should
sense
cross-post
for
both.
some of the items that they yield to have that orange color, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Calfredo, thank you for the 31-month
wanna ask some,
resub. Thank
lore
you, thank you.
So, as Mira asked, will we be getting any more background information on story regarding Lyrath Windrunner? Sorry. Any of the other Windrunner
Version
family
has not
members,
been
perhaps?
working well lately. Everyone getting
Absolutely.
it makes it, not legendary.
I don't want
Yeah.
to talk too much about patches, but
I think
certainly
it's
in
a tough
Midnight,
one.
as we go into the Spire, you will have the opportunity to really get a brother's view of his sisters and an opportunity to learn a lot more about what happened and what's happening in that place.
Sinker Reaper, thanks for
and
the prime.
I mentioned before, we're going to see the sisters.
And Grody Toady on Blue Sky wants to ask about trolls. So here come all the names. Where is Vol'jin's story in all of this? I'm hoping we find a way to weave Vol'jin, Talanji, Zul'jin, Rokan, Zul'jan, and Zul'jara into a cohesive story about troll unity or cooperation.
Isn't Vol'jin dead?
Well, right out of the gate in Midnight, you're not going to see that combination of trolls, but you will see a combination of some trolls as we continue into patches.
Why does
and
he
move
want-
forward. We're very much focused on
him
what's
as
going
a
on with the
Loa?
trolls, as well as what's going on with the Blood Elves. They have not always been on the best of terms for reasons. And there's definitely a story to be told about their relationship and
Dr.
all of those
Warlock,
folks
thank you
come
for the
into
5
that,
months.
that story.
Groxy on Blue Sky said, Midnight sees the Paladin forces of Azeroth fighting back the Void at the Sunwell. Can we hope to see more lore about the Tauren and Azeroth's sun god Ansha? Eyes of the Earth Mother told us how he and Elune slash Musha fought possibly the Void in ancient Azeroth.
Well, we are going to hang out with Desco a little bit in the Erator's Journey portion of our campaign at Midnight. And I feel like we certainly are going to look at how the Tauren view
Completely lost with lore names. Yeah, true.
their mythologies, perhaps later in The Last Titan.
Okay, good. Let's talk about add-ons.
Add-ons.
The WoW creator Polka TV said, given the upcoming removal of many boss mod tools, how do you plan to preserve the intended difficulty of encounters once these tools are no longer available?
So yeah, this is a great question. For some extra context, I think folks are going to see in the next day or two, as some of the media interviews we've done in the last day go out, that we are rolling out so changes to the add-on API with the launch of Midnight. And so that is going to remove the ability for add-ons to read in real time combat state and combat information specifically.
Really?
One of the big reasons why we're doing this with the launch of a new expansion is so that we can really build all of our combat, our encounters around that expectation, around this new ecosystem. As we've been discussing over the course of the
That's so
year,
interesting.
really the main goal with this shift is to create a level playing field where external tools are no longer felt to be required in order to engage in the content, at a competitive level. And also to shift some of the things that we are testing when it comes to difficulty.
And it's not just competitive,
maybe
like,
away
even
from
casuals expect
quick
it.
reactions and how quickly you can run to the circle or diamond marker that your add-on told you to run to, and rather to more of the collaborative coordination that have traditionally marked cooperative PvE in WoW. But the goal is to keep difficulty largely the same. In terms of how many pulls it takes to down a boss for your guild, whether you are aiming for ahead of the curve and defeating Heroic, or whether you're pushing into Mythic or whatever else, overall it should take you about the same amount of time to accomplish what you're used to accomplishing.
Yeah, I think
just
this
that
is a lot
difficulty
better.
may come in slightly different places. Without add-ons to solve mechanics for you in real time, it may well be the case that we just need to give you a couple more seconds to get into place, or that there should be one fewer add to interrupt, or what have you. We are
Right.
going to be rolling out, we're actually going to be launching alpha
So it might,
with
like,
a raid boss
technically be
available for
slightly
testing
easier
early on.
to make up for the
We have
fact
a
that there's no
ton
add-ons.
of native improvements to the UI, like boss timers, boss alerts, so you can see a timeline of upcoming boss abilities, nameplate improvements, cooldown manager improvements, and more, to, again, kind of create a unified experience that's baked into the UI. But the goal at the end of the day is for difficulty to remain where it was, and we will be making tuning changes in alpha and beta, as well as, of course, once these encounters are live, to make sure that things are landing in the right place and players still feel well equipped to overcome the challenges in front of them.
Following that, Sped Bros on Reddit asked, what is your plan for upkeep and development of these now built-in add-ons?
Yeah, so I think the functionality that we're pulling into the base UI is something that, as always, we're going to be evolving in response to player feedback. Again, part of why we're very excited to get people having a look at these right at the start of alpha is so that we have the entirety of the alpha and beta cycle to iterate on them before midnight launches. And then, of course, as always, even after the game is live, we're going to continue to add functionality based on the player requests and the feedback that we're receiving.
Ossicrond on the WoW forums said, sculpting your UI over the years is almost like working on a classic car. Fine-tuning with different fonts, color palettes, and even different types of glow alerts. What is the depth of the available customization, and are there plans to expand it in the future?
So there's a couple of facets to this question. First off, couldn't agree more that I think UI customization and using add-ons to tailor the aesthetic of a UI,
They're not removing that,
how
right?
information is presented.
You can
and
still have
where it's
add-ons, just
presented,
add-ons
I think
won't
are
be
one of
able
the
to read
hallmarks
combat,
of the
that's
WoW
it.
experience, and really one of the strengths of the game for going on 21 years now. There are no plans to eliminate or remove that.
Yeah.
The approach we've taken in
It's just
changing
for
the way the
combat.
add-on API works really is just focused on access to that real-time information. There'll be details coming out very soon from our UI engineering team on exactly how this works. But whereas in the past, when we have restricted aspects of what add-ons can do, we tend to just kind of wall off sections of our UI and say add-ons can't touch this at all. But when it comes to things like nameplates or unit frames and the like, that would have been an unacceptable approach here because that aesthetic customization is so essential. So there's a brand new system that's been created where essentially pieces of information about what's going on in combat are put in a black box. And add-ons can paint that box pink or yellow or green or make it bigger or smaller, but what they can't do is know exactly what's inside the box and use that to drive logic. In addition to that, the new UI functionality that we're adding, whether it's improved nameplates or whatever, have extensive customizations in terms of size, shape, location,
This is not
aesthetic,
a botting
all of
issue,
the edit
no.
mode
This is
functionality and
active
more.
rating,
But
right?
we have no intent
I don't think there's a
of
botting
pulling
problem
back
in
in any way
rating.
from the aesthetic customization that add-ons have always offered.
This is
Cutting
a
to the
rating
chase,
question. It's to
Felfer on
change
the
the
WoW
environment of
forums
rating,
asked,
to make people want to
does
do
this mean
content
that
more.
existing add-ons like Deadly
dungeons,
Boss
raiding.
Mods, Plater, or Details are going to break?
They will change significantly. I think certainly, day one, if you're logging into alpha and you try to enable them, I do not believe they will work due to changes in the API, but that's standard for any new expansion release. We are inviting the authors of a vast range of add-ons
you have your own
into
CD
our
tracking,
first week
Taylor.
of alpha,
Like, you
so
can
that's gonna
track
be
your own
coming up in
cooldowns.
just the next few days to get their hands on these changes, to give us feedback about how we can better support their ongoing development. But yes, when it comes to the specific ability to read and process combat information and use that to drive logic, that is going to be changing, and that will affect those add-ons.
Okay, give me one more. This comes from Herrick's on the WoW forums. Herrick's said, what are the plans regarding improvements to the default raid frames? In the effort to reduce the need for add-ons, raid frames are a major pain point for healers, where the default Blizzard raid frames are basically unusable without at least some external modification.
So yeah, we also have improvements coming to raid frames, definitely with healers in mind. If you're, let's say, a Resto Druid who wants to be able to see all of your HOTS on a target, that's something that we agree is very important and needs to be baked into the default functionality. Same with, encounter designers calling out major buffs and debuffs and things that you need to know in an encounter, whether you're a healer or just a raid leader wanting to keep tabs on the state of the encounter that way.
Will this be on the test?
And of
Yes,
course,
you better be
as
focusing,
I
guys.
mentioned earlier, add-ons will still be able to customize the look and the feel and the size and the overall presentation of raid frames.
Race to World
There
First is
just
going to be
won't
really
certain
interesting.
functionality that is driving logic based on whether you happen to have a certain debuff or not, but all the rest should still be available.
E. Chow on Blue Sky has a couple of questions. Given the connection to the Army of Light, the Sunwell and Blood Elves in general being their main rival in the Burning Crusade,
Okay, this is
will we
lore stuff.
see
This is when my
Draenei
brain switches
play
off.
any sort of role? Also, will Quel'Thalas be, with Quel'Thalas being part of the main world now, will there be any updates to
I'm here for
Forsaken
housing.
Land?
Yes, housing is the best feature.
So the Draenei,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
obviously will be,
combat
part of the
add-ons
fight,
getting limited
part of
because
the battle that we're waging against the Void. But this
I'm lazy.
chapter
I don't
is
want to have to
focused
look up what
on
weak
the
auras
Blood
I
Elves
need
and the
for
Blood
whatever
Elves
shit.
struggle,
Like, I just want to play.
with some trolls, and we're gonna really be leaning in there more than we are with the Draenei. Opportunities, will come up for the Draenei to have their moment in the light, as it were.
Yeah. And as it goes for changes to Forsaken Lands, well, there's some minor changes as we've added Quel'Thalas and Zul'Aman into the main body of the Eastern Kingdoms to connect them in. So there's a tunnel in the Forsaken Lands that does connect it in. We are going to see some Forsaken characters as well. We're actually going to be working with a little bit of a deep cut, but
If the replacements work properly and they stop making fights and mandate an add-on, I think that's what they're basically saying.
It has a couple
Sure, they might
interesting,
fail,
interactions
but I think
chats
that's
with
exactly what
Eretor and
Ian
the
said,
Advent and
right?
others.
Like, for example, if we're going to need to
continue
increase the
build out
time that you
Forsaken
have to
story
move to a
continue.
certain place
I think
because of
looking
that
at,
lack of information, then we will add
how this
seconds
is
to
playing out
that,
and continue to,
etc. So it's
and we're very
definitely something that
excited
they're
by
aware of.
some of the reception we've heard from Gamescom
Maybe they'll
onwards
fail,
about the
but
changes
that means
to
that they
Silvermoon,
are
Eversong,
aiming
and more.
to be that way.
Honestly, there was a bit of anxiety internally about the idea of revisiting an old location as for one of our zones, whether some players would view that as somehow lesser than coming up with a brand new place. But I think as people see this full splendor of Silvermoon, get a chance to revisit Eversong and what it's become all these years later, I think the excitement around that really excites us too, because we'd love to be able to tell more new stories in some of the iconic locations that resonate throughout everyone's fandom of Warcraft and what Azeroth is about. And so that will mean updating
I
those
think it
locations.
is better
and I
in
think that's
general
something
to use
that
old
we're
zones
excited
because
to do more of as we look forward.
when we get
Of
too
course,
many
the
new
last
zones,
Titan
it just
will see us
becomes
going
too
back to
bloated.
Northrend. So that'll be
Like
a story
20
for
years
another
of new zones is too
I think
much.
we've for sure discovered that we can tell different stories when we go to old places and see how characters have changed, see how the spaces have changed. It's been a really cool opportunity to do that in Midnight.
Let's shift to some class talk. Fuchsia on Reddit asked, are you planning on adding any new specs that can tank or heal for existing classes?
Oh, that's interesting.
Not right now in Midnight. I think Devourer, Demon Hunter, and that new range DPS spec for them is our focus right now. But I think we've seen whether it's this or whether it's augmentation, there's excitement around the idea of established classes getting new specs. And so that is something I think we are likely to explore as we look to the future.
Zerotics on Reddit asked, throughout the War Within, some classes and specs received visual updates, and as a monk player, the update to Vivify was very appreciated. Are there any other classes or specs that can be revealed to be getting updated visuals in Midnight?
Yeah, there's a couple really cool Apex talents. So Apex talents are the new talents you'll be able to learn at the bottom of your spec tree, and a lot of these have some fantastic visuals. Ones that jump out to me are the augmentation, where you summon a bronze dragon version of yourself from the future to fight alongside you for a little bit. The Frost Mage one as well. You summon a Hand of Frost that chases down your
That's not
target
the
and
that's
attacks
not what the
them.
question was,
And
right?
so
They
these are some of
asked
the
for
new abilities
updated
that are
visuals
going to get some new
like
custom
from
visuals.
already
As far as
existing
like looking back
abilities.
at older visuals, as was the case with Vivify, this is something that we tend to do as we continue to build smaller patches. Most of our efforts for Midnight was building all the new stuff, but then as we continue building out the game, we look to the future.
Okay.
This is where we look back at. As
This
we did with
guy's a
Vivify,
politician.
find abilities where we
He
can raise the
answered
floor
a
and say,
different
okay, this one
question.
has aged
They
not
didn't
as
say, "Are
gracefully
we
as the rest
getting
of our
new
visuals, and we
visuals
can bring it
for
up to
new
par with the
abilities?"
rest.
That's kind of obvious because it's
Following
new.
that, we found a question from Nihenna on the German forums, and Nihenna asked, will the void/light topic be picked up in any additional class specs in the future? For example, Sunwell effects for a Holy Paladin, or perhaps void powers for a Warlock.
Whoa.
I don't know about Void Warlocks quite yet, but we do have a existing Void themed spec, the Shadow Priest, my beloved Shadow Priest,
Oh my God.
which has a new ability, Tentacle Slam, which replaces Shadow Crash, and it is a giant voidy tentacle that slams down in a line in
Okay,
front of you.
that's fair.
And has
That's
a similar
something, I guess.
AoE component, but a lot more of a classic voidy.
No, it's okay. That's
Shadow
okay.
Priest,
It is a new ability.
idea to it. We also have on one of our Apex talents, the Discipline Priest has Void Shield, which replaces your Power Word Shield with a Void-themed shield. So there are places where the Void and Light are leaking into our class design.
Okay.
Going back to the support roles, Neo Saro on the EU Spanish forums asked, can we expect anything new regarding the support role in Midnight? Will it be expanded to other classes? Is it considered that it
Guys,
maybe
I need
didn't
your help
work
to
as
write a good
expected
question
for
so I can get shouted
augmentation,
out like that?
and perhaps that
We
just
got a
becomes
question from
normal damage
AnnieFuchsia,
healer?
streamer
So
from
we're not planning on
Sweden.
currently expanding it to other classes,
What
but
a
we're also
fantastic question.
not planning on changing augmentation to just fit into the existing niches. I think there's a lot of excitement around the idea of support, and I think we've seen players embrace that fantasy.
This question for
think
yeah,
we're
I know.
still
I know this is
iterating
not from like
on
now.
evolving that specialization,
Because they said it's
and
like
getting
it's been
to a place where
upvoted
we
and
can
stuff
find
like
a
that.
happy medium where it can kind of realize that fantasy and be effective as someone who bolsters the strength of your allies without also becoming so effective that it feels required in groups and kind of limits composition diversity. I think if we're able to achieve that, hopefully when we're able to achieve that, I do think we would like to look to what other ideas might apply a different fantasy to executing that concept.
I want to switch to the topic of delves. The WoW content creator True Villain Manny said, with delves integrated
been
into the
me.
story, will there be certain scenarios that are locked in as we level? And will there be additional story in those alternative scenarios with delves?
Yeah, as we move through the campaign in Midnight, we will be entering delves with specific goals in mind. And that particular variant of the story will have the objectives that we need to accomplish as we go through them. As always, our delves will have multiple variants to play through with different stories occurring. So yes, we will continue to use delves in this way, and look for opportunities to continue to build quest content that enters delves.
So let's go inside. Varteris on the WoW forums said, will delves have even greater variety than in the War Within? Maybe a randomized puzzle to solve, a race, a whole new set of abilities?
Yeah, there's a couple ways that delves are changing. We have a new follower, Valera Sanguinara, is going to come along, and she's going to mix things up. She's takes delves a little bit more
Valeria.
seriously than Bran does, and a lot more stabbily as
Is it
well.
Valera or Valeria?
We also have some outdoor delves that are going to take place in outdoor spaces, and so this will just change up not only the vibe of
Valera.
the space, but your ability to move around, because you'll be able to use your ground mounts to get around. We're also just taking a look at the mechanics that we're using in delves in Midnight. So you can announce now that Midnight does not have any underwater delves. It also does not have any delves with a
Thank
mechanic
God.
where you have to, say, pick up a candle or a totem and throw it ahead and continue doing that on a continued basis. Folks, let us know how they felt about those, and we're not moving forward with those designs.
Good.
So Relentless on the
I hated
EU
the candle
Spanish
mechanic.
forums asked a version of a question we got a lot. And Ian, what's stopping the World of Warcraft development team from doing a world revamp? Could we get a world revamp?
What's a world revamp?
I mean, I think the idea of revamping everything at once is a terrifying one.
Yeah,
frankly.
there's no way.
But I think, as touched on earlier, we definitely
Oh,
want
like Kata?
to tell new
Oh.
stories in iconic locations, and in doing that,
The world
we
is too
would
big now.
certainly do much more than
Like
just
before,
do a,
there was
you know,
just
fresh
Eastern
coat of paint on
Kingdom,
the
and
area.
I mean, I
We would
guess
really
they could just
reimagine it and bring
stick
it
to
into the
one
present
place.
day, as we have with Eversong. Our current focus is, of course, on the story that we're telling for the rest of the World Soul Saga. That will touch on some
We had that
familiar
when Flying
locations.
Mounts first came out, yeah. But
down
at that
the
point,
line,
it was
I
all
think
just
the lessons
Eastern
we are
Kingdom
learning
and
and the
Kalimdor.
experiences we're
There
having,
wasn't much
revisiting
else.
some locations,
But
open the door to
I
doing a
get your
lot more.
point, though.
Saw a very upvoted question from Solera, a French WoW player on X. Solera asked, without giving away spoilers, very important,
Okay.
does Midnight introduce any completely new elven tribes or expand on lesser known ones? Maybe the Kel'Durai?
Without spoilers.
Without spoilers.
That's a tough constraint.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's right.
I don't think it's spoilery to say we're going to be learning a lot about the elves and the elves' relationships with one another, and that would include Quel'Durai.
Thank you. And Zoris on the EU Spanish forums asked, with the Devourer specialization, all Demon Hunter abilities will use void effects and icons, even those shared by all three specializations. Has there been any consideration of extending this aesthetic customization to other classes?
So I think philosophically and narratively, what a Void Demon Hunter represents, what a Devourer Demon Hunter represents, is one who, rather than harnessing and channeling Fel energy, is channeling Void energy to turn it against those who originally wielded it. And so that is going to transform a wide range of their abilities. On the other hand, when we look at, let's say, a Fire Mage or a Frost Mage, they're not forsaking the arcane when they become a Fire Mage. And so Blink is still an arcane spell, and Counterspell is still an arcane spell, and so forth.
Fully collecting
And
a
so I think
class that
when we look at
appears
other
unlocks
classes, we
all
generally like to
lower
look at
difficulty
that broad
variants.
base of multiple,
It's
areas
funny
of
because I
focus,
just saw a
and just
tweet
because you
about how
specialize in one
LFR is
thing
the
doesn't
most
mean
difficult
that
set
transforms
to
all of
collect.
the others. That said, touching on some
That's
earlier questions
insane.
when it comes to glyph spell customizations and other things that players may want to customize the look and feel of their abilities.
Is that only for
there's
new
always
sets
an
or
opportunity
old
there.
expansions too?
Another highly upvoted question all over the place. I'll take the version of this question from Navarel on the EU German forums. Would you consider replacing the ready-made group in follower dungeons with characters from the player's warband?
Oh, that's cute.
Definitely something we are considering. Not something we're going to be able to deliver for Midnight, but ever since the introduction of both warbands and follower dungeons, this idea, this request has popped up. It's something that we're excited about internally as well. There's some technical hurdles to kind of pull that information down in real time and make it work, but it's something we do want to deliver down the line.
Ian's not lying about technical hurdles. There were multiple technical hurdles in the way. We're actually jumping over one of them with Training Grounds, where we're changing the way that some of those game-controlled characters or bots are built. To be building Training Grounds in this way gets us one hurdle closer to being able to do what you're asking for.
There are so many people on this development team that I would call technical hurdlers. Engineers, that's just what they do. They jump over hurdles. So, Maria, Silo on the WoW forums asked, will there be new mini-game type quests in Midnight?
Yes, there will be. We actually have a new mechanic.
I want more
that
harder
was,
puzzles, like the pipes
created
in
for Zulaman specifically,
Deeps.
Where you will do some, underwater stuff. But it's quite fun. It's the Amani Abyss style. You're gonna be going fishing.
There was a secret mount
style.
too, which had really cool puzzles, right?
Yeah.
That's a revelation.
Or secret
I like that.
quest line.
While we're revealing things, Musselton on the WoW forums asked, I'm extremely excited for the Heronir. Can you share more
There are
information
multiple.
on
I don't
their
mean
druid
the
forms?
puzzles that are really difficult that
Well,
thousands
conveniently,
of
if
people
you
get together
watched,
to solve. I mean, like the ones where
the
you can go
deep
in
dive,
and you can solve it. You know,
a flash of those. Fundamentally, they all have quills to throw back to sort of the Heronir, but the tank form is a pangolin bear with sort of bat-like ears.
They all sort of got those ears.
Yeah, they
right?
got the ears and the quills, and we have a wolverine for our feral spec. We have an owl-like, quilled owl-like sort of boomkin. But best of all has got to be the swimming form, the swimming travel form, which is an axolotl.
Axolotl.
What?
With quills.
We're all
What
going
is
to
it?
learn how to say
Axolotl.
axolotl.
Yeah, I probably said it wrong, but yeah.
No, I think you got it right. I think you did.
Okay, cool.
It's a tradition and
the
nostalgia that
reveal
WoW
of the
graphically has stayed
Heronir,
back in the early
led to a
2000s.
very
Have you seen a
common
difference
question.
between a classic zone and,
a
like, let's
version
say,
of that question
Ardenweald?
that I want to ask
Like,
you
have
came
you
from
looked at the game?
Racktoner on Reddit.
Have you seen the new
Can you
retail
explain
zones?
the decision-making process for which races to make playable races?
Yeah. A lot of this comes down to narrative. There's no secret that we started talking to the Heronir in
The Craterna styles on
in the War
purpose,
Within,
yes.
and
Yeah,
this
and it's
was,
evolved
not
a
coincidence
lot.
either. We wanted to build a
Because I'm
familiarity
saying this
with
because a
Rowena,
lot of
with her
people
crew, so
say
you
that as a
understand who
comment,
these characters are,
but it's like very clear that
when
they
do
haven't looked
eventually
at the game
become
when they say so.
playable characters as we've added them in Midnight.
Because there's
And
a
of course,
big
Midnight is
difference
part of a
between
three-chapter
new
saga.
zones and
We're in the
old
middle
zones if
chapter
you put them
now.
next to
The
each other.
Heronir
Like
are
the
gonna be a
buildings,
big,
the
important part of
ground,
the
and the
story, and this is
trees,
why
the
we chose
plants.
to-
Like it's a
to fold them in.
massive difference.
I feel bad often
They
being the
have
bearer
a-
of bad news.
It's incredible that they
in
kept
in
the
these
same
conversations, but I know
feeling.
that we're not. It's not lost on us
Like
that
it
there
feels
are
like the same
widespread
game still,
requests from
but
players
it's a
who would love to
massive
be,
difference if you put them
a
side by
Seprak
side.
or an ethereal or the like. And part of the question there is, as Paul said, narratively, like, does it make sense for
stylized
this
art style,
faction
yeah.
to really join the Alliance and Horde if there's, if they're cosmic, extraplanar, more
I can't
neutral
stand
by
how WoW
nature?
looks. I hate the art style.
The
That's
reality
okay.
of it
Art is very
also from a
subjective.
production perspective,
So
one
if
of
you
the
don't
things
like
we
it, then you
grapple
don't
with
like it.
is that
That's
adding
okay.
a brand new race to World of
I
Warcraft
think it's incredible that
is
games
one
have
of
art
the,
styles because
most
the
development
danger with
intensive things we can
2025
do,
games,
not
or like the
just
past
in
10 years in
one-time
general,
time
is
commitment,
that
but also in the long-term
games are starting to
carrying
all look the
cost
same.
for every set of
They don't really
armor
have
we
an art
ever
style
make
anymore.
for years and years to follow.
And WoW is one of
And
those
it's
few
something
games
we
that
have
still
to
has
weigh
an art
very,
style.
very heavily when we do. Building a race that uses or shares an existing rig, an existing skeleton, if it's an elven race or the like, makes that more straightforward. Again, that's not to say we're never going to add
I feel like
very
about
novel
WoW,
or
you can't
meaningfully
say
different
art,
races
sound, or
down the
environments are
line,
weak, in my opinion.
but it's a very high
And same
bar
with
for
the
us
raids
to
as
clear
well. Raids
when we
is
look
also
at
very
how
strong
much
point
ultimately it's
in
going
WoW.
to
Like no
mean
matter
that
how
we have
much
to
you
do
may
less of in other
dislike the
places
game,
forever
raids also
in order
very
to
strong.
support this additional race alongside the others.
As I've said to you before, I want Saberon.
I can appreciate
will wait.
Sidenta, just
I will
not for
be
me. Yeah,
patient.
that's fair. That's okay.
Please give me Saberon. So, Massive Bear on the WoW forums asked, will Heronir be unlockable in the 3 days of early access? I remember Earthen were not.
No, not during the first 3 days.
Yeah.
So during that early access, we want to make sure that we're letting
Heronir
players
racial?
who are
I
in
don't
that
think
early
so.
access be able to play
Much
through the
prefer an art
campaign
style
and
that is the
understand,
reason why
what's
Classic
going on,
works in
but not get any
2025.
meaningful
Very
jumps
true.
ahead of anyone
Whereas
else
games
who,
that try to go
don't
for a
have that early
realistic
access.
look, 20 years later, look like garbage.
Meredith on the WoW
Yeah.
forums asked, how is Blizzard progressing in the war against toxicity in terms of the entire game?
Yeah, this is something that's a huge focus for us, and really, there's many facets to the question and the discussion. I think when people say toxicity, there's a few different meanings, perhaps, or things that they're referring to. Some of it is just the overt, hostile, harmful, antagonistic interactions that may occur online between players. We're always continuing to shore up our reporting tools, improve real-time monitoring, and get to a place where people who are disrupting our game world can be punished and ultimately removed from it if they continue to do that. On the other hand, though, I think sometimes when people talk about a community or a portion of the game feeling toxic, that can arise from just mismatched expectations. Like, if I am listing a group and I'm trying to run a raid, and I have done that raid 12 times, and I have been through groups that have wiped and learned the encounters, it's reasonable for me as a leader of a pug to only want players who have a certain level of experience, who have also been through those learning wipes and can succeed quickly. And so someone who is looking to learn may feel like, oh, this is very unwelcoming, this is kind of toxic, why aren't we, why am I not welcome here? And ultimately, that's an issue of aligning expectations. And I think there's a lot more that we can do on the pro-social side of things to help people find like-minded players and like-minded
He's basically
groups.
saying it's okay
There's
to
nothing
only
wrong
invite
with
high
wanting
item
to
level
complete
people.
something quickly and efficiently. There's also very certainly nothing wrong
And
with
he
wanting
is
to learn
right.
and wanting a patient
I've said this
group.
as well. I
If
think a
you
lot of
mix
people are
those two
very
groups,
entitled
there are going to be
when
some
they come
conflicts
in
that
with their
emerge
greens and
naturally
expect
because
an
of
invitation
different
to
goals and
heroic raid.
expectations. So I think a lot of what we're focused on right now is also how we can help players better connect with like-minded individuals so that they can have satisfying experiences where
Yeah,
everyone
people
is on
come
the
in
same
expecting
page,
to be
working
carried.
towards the same goals.
Thank you. I want to rip through some more housing questions. We've got several. will we get to see our alts walking about, or maybe sitting in a chair in our house? Paul?
Yeah, this is, we're looking at a lot of the same technical hurdles we talked about earlier, not only with being able to show players and other players in game, but also the pathing issues that Ian mentioned when
That's
it comes
such a cool
to
hallway.
being able to have your
No, the carpets are
pets moving
misaligned.
around
What is
and
this?
mouse moving around and whatnot. So not planned yet, but something we
Can't
did talk about
unsee.
as a potential for the future. And I'll take this moment to say that like housing is one of those features which is really exciting for us because there are so many cool ways for it to grow. As we've built Midnight and we're sharing housing for the first time, we're going to be looking to you to tell us what do you want.
Setting
Is it that
reasonable
you want to see a
expectations
house? Do we
on
want more
preparation
features?
is
Do we
not
want more
toxic.
decor? Do we want,
I can see how it's
more
annoying
ways that
for
I can
people.
style
Because
interior,
sometimes
exterior-
they're going to do a
exterior of
normal
my house.
raid,
So,
they expect
let us
people
know
to link
as
the
you continue
achievement for
playing.
heroic
Yeah,
raid,
I mean,
for
philosophically,
example.
with a feature the size
I
of
understand
housing,
the
this is something we've
frustration,
been working on for
but
a very long time.
I think it's in their
To
rights.
really deliver what players
you can do is make
have
your
been
own grip.
expecting and what they deserve. But there comes a point when we're developing, especially a social feature, where we're almost hesitant to take it too far until we can actually share it with the community and understand what people are into, what they're maybe not into so much, what they want more of, what they don't need more of, to make sure that we're really putting our time and our resources in the places that are going to maximize that value for players. And so we're so excited to see people jump in the months ahead in alpha and beta, of course, and then beginning this December on the live servers and see where it goes from there.
So here's a very specific question from Alastril on the WoW forums. For housing and professions, it was stated that professions through all expansions will be able to craft housing items. Will we be able to use this as a skill catch-up for the past expansions? For example, could a leather worker start at Wrath Leatherworking Skill 1 and craft Wrath-themed housing items to get all the way
that's
to level
clever.
75?
I mean, these will give skill ups for sure. Yeah, I don't know how many of them will be available at level 1, for example. They may be tuned based on how elaborate the piece of decor is, but in general, yeah, once you get the level that you're able to build these things, then you continue to use them to level up.
So
I'm not sure if he understood the part of
the
from a different expansion,
I want
though.
to just give you this one.
Does he understand that?
It comes from Sparrow.
Because that was
on
the
WoW
point. The
forums.
level 1
Is
wasn't
it
the
possible
important
to add
part.
a
The
functional
fact that it's
bookshelf
Wrath.
to player housing that could store and display collected in-game books?
Here's an idea. How about
I
a game
have
where being a
lot
new
of
player is
those.
not an issue to
Okay,
everyone?
this is what I'm talking about. That like
Then play a
once
new
you
game.
Share housing with the world, then 1,000
I'm
cool
sorry,
ideas
but that's
come
the
out. And so
reality.
we'll
It
start
doesn't really
gathering up all
matter
these
what
cool ideas
MMO
and say,
you
what can we
play.
do next?
If you want to
I can
have
confirm there
a
will
new
be
player
bookshelves.
experience, you have to play a
Whether those
game where there's a
bookshelves
lot
will
of new
be
players.
functional, no, not at least
If
to
you
start,
go
but
into
this
a
is
game
really
where
cool
people have
idea for
spent
our
20
collection
years
that
into
we're
it,
gonna,
there's
take
going to
back
be
to the
people
team.
who expect that too.
And
Having said
couple
that,
more.
you can
Ian,
find your own social
Devanir
circles.
on
You can
Reddit
find a
wrote,
guild with
"What is the
other
minimum
like-minded
player
people. You can
limit
find a guild
for
with
a
other new
private
players, for
or
example.
guild neighborhood?
It's going to be
What
hard
happens
to
if
play
you
a
make
game
a
which is
private
so
neighborhood
old.
with
People
the
know
minimum
the game
amount of
inside
people,
out.
and then some of them go away?
So this is something that's still a bit in flux. I think our current thinking is that just like signing a guild charter, you'll need 10 players to charter a private neighborhood. And that's for a couple of reasons. Part of it is, in order for neighborhood systems, endeavors to really function optimally, there's a certain number of players that are going to be expected to really drive the system. But also a piece of it is just server performance. Using an extreme example, if literally every single player online had their own personal neighborhoods, that would be potentially millions of simultaneous entire districts that need to get spun up, trying to make sure the servers don't melt here. And so striking a balance between what's going to be a good social experience, but also recognizing that players have friend groups of various sizes, and we want to be as flexible as possible. I think if we're able to lower that number from where we're starting, it's something
What is the
we
current
would
number?
aim to do as we
I
see
didn't
how
hear
the
the current
tech side of
number.
it unfolds.
I saw an upvoted question on Reddit from a player named Backstabbeth, and this is a question I have myself.
Clearly a trustworthy fellow.
Very much.
I think my
Will there be
embargo
a
is
list
over.
of
Yes, I have
collections
had
and their
access
sources
to
for housing
alpha.
materials before
I don't have any
housing goes
content to bring
live,
out 'cause I'm not
so
a
that we can
YouTuber.
begin to start hunting for those items, maybe reputation,
And we will be
achievement
checking it out
requirements.
together.
I'd love to know what I already have or what I'm close to having.
Yeah, a ton of that is going to be visible
After this show.
in the alpha build coming up in just a day. But we'll have a blog summarizing it, so you don't need to, go trawling for the information, and that way everyone can get a head start on checking off those achievements that you may have missed.
Let's,
I missed an
let's
achievement
come
question.
back to a couple of fun questions before we go here. Bail Samel on the WoW forums asked, "Are
Yeah,
we
we'll still do
getting a
sushi after,
capybara,
'cause I only have
Loa?
2 hours left.
There are
Should be fine.
capybaras in the Yamani screenshots. The people yearn for a capybara, Loa.
Well, conveniently, there is one.
Yeah, I was thinking of rewind
His
too,
name
but
is Philo.
I don't see it here.
The
I don't know if I need
capybara
to
Loa
minimize
of
it.
children.
It's okay.
Oh, nice. And I hope
I
he
have
has
turbo,
a prominent
accidentally.
headdress.
Absolutely, and a glorious necklace.
That's perfect. Loa's should be very well outfitted, I think. Finnerfin on the WoW forums asked, could we see the return of class quest lines? Legion was great, and it was fun to have a unique experience questing on alts.
Yeah, class quest lines come up really often as something people are excited about. We certainly do want to look more at, expanding on classes. We had a lot of fun doing the Warlock one, for example, not too long ago. But most recently, the best way for you to play some class quest lines, if you never played them, has to do with our lore walking, because where we had restrictions, for example, on the Zalatath
when was Warlock questline, guys?
Story. Previously, a lot of people didn't know anything about Zalatath. And
I'm assuming she's talking about the Green Fire quest.
By playing that lore walking, they had the opportunity
it's
to
like
play
10 years
that
ago.
portion of the priest quest line. So we're hoping that as we build more lore walking, you'll have that opportunity to see some of that. But this is certainly an area that
I think that's the quest she's talking. I don't think there's
narrative
another
team would be
Warlock
thrilled
quest line, is
to
there?
do more of.
Good. It's our last question, and I cobbled this together from
Is there a
versions of this
Dragonflight
question
Warlock
that I
quest?
found everywhere. I want to give a shout out to some of the people that
Recently,
I borrowed this
2012.
from. Aziriel, Simplejack, Martian, Zuburius on our forums, all asked versions of this. Ian, how will player power progression be updated in Midnight, especially regarding Valor Stones?
New demon customization?
Yeah, so
was
the
that
way
a
the
quest,
upgrade
though?
system has played out over the last couple of expansions, I think we're happy with the sort of granular incremental
It's
progression
retroactive
that
as well.
complements
Oh
that
my
spiky
god, that's so
randomness of loot
good.
drops. But there is, and we agree with player feedback that we've heard, potentially one too many moving pieces and a bit too much complexity in the current system.
It is too
So I
complex.
can announce that Valor Stones as a currency will be going away
Okay.
in Midnight.
So it's only crests.
You're already needing to gather the crests that you need, and that should be sufficient. We're also looking to streamline the system a little bit and more
It was so
clearly
annoying,
pair
especially the
individual
cap.
crest tiers with appropriate gear upgrade tracks, so that there's potentially less confusion about what crest matches to what.
I don't know if I'm minority
Anything
because I'm so
further,
casual.
Paul?
I still find the crest
No, I
system
think that's great.
confusing.
Yeah.
There's like
Yeah.
multiple different
We're over
crests
here
and
pumping
like
fists.
Yes,
We're
it's too
absolutely.
confusing.
very excited.
If I
Red
could
Valor
decide,
Stones.
just make higher difficulty and drop
and on that
more
note-
crests and just have one kind.
That's our time. Thank you,
it's
Ian,
like different
Paul,
gear
Maria,
has different
thank you
tracks
for taking
and
the
like
time, and thank
it's annoying.
you to everyone.
It's like this is a chance an
watching
item because I
along.
think it's worse.
We've
Then I realized,
got
oh, that was a
Midnight Alpha
better
testing starting
track
very
item level.
soon. We
I
can't
don't know, as a
wait to see
casual,
you
it's
there
annoying.
and welcome you home.
Welcome home. Let's
you.
go. Yeah, one type of crest and not like annoying tracks. I don't like tracks. I'm just gonna wait for tracks to disappear. Let's see. I think that's it, right? As a casual that is not participating in high-level content care about having the best possible gear, it's about confusion, right? Because they might get like LFR gear and the normal gear and then questing gear, and sometimes they might think like, oh, this gear is an upgrade or this gear is not an upgrade because they didn't understand the item level track system. Because this has happened to me. And so this is not like something only at mythic level. This is like in general. Like you want the best for whatever gear level that the content that you do. And in my opinion, the track system is confusing and annoying. Okay, it's time. It's time. The tracks add steady progression for gear. It does, but like I think there's too many tiers of it. Maybe that's what it is. I do agree with some kind of like upgrade system with crests, I just don't like how the tracks work. Because sometimes you pick up an item and it's 3 out of 6, or is it 8? I don't know. And then sometimes you pick up an item and it's like 1 out of whatever. And then like it turns out like if you had upgraded the other one, it was actually a better upgrade, but you didn't realize. And yeah, I think it's a bit too many like tracks. I don't know what would be better, but I think the number of tracks need to like decrease or something. Or maybe don't make it about tracks. Just make it like upgradable if you have this many, and that's it. Like keep it simple. A veteran, hero, champ, simple. It's not simple though. I still confuse which one is better between champion and veteran. As someone who plays a lot of casual ults, like I have to think about it. I have to look at the item level. Wait, which one is better? Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm saying from a casual POV. From a casual POV, I don't think it's a good system. Also, it's not veteran hero champ, it's veteran champ hero. Yeah, I just think from a casual POV, it's confusing, and I think it could be simplified. I have to use an add-on for the UI. Yeah, I think people gave me a weak aura in the past, so I could see like what item level it goes up to. Yeah. What was wrong with good old-fashioned normal and heroic does not make me a boomer? I understand the idea of being able to upgrade your items though, so I don't disagree with that. I just think the tracks need to be abolished. Maybe like once you complete heroic tier, you're now allowed to upgrade your items above a certain item level. It doesn't matter if you got it in LFR. If you've cleared heroic raid, let's say, now you are allowed to upgrade your items to heroic level, even if they come from LFR. I don't know. That's how I feel. I feel like, yeah. It's just weird. Gruel, thank you very much for the 30-month resub. Thank you, thank you. There's also Explorer and Adventure. Yeah, true. It's because they want you to be time gated. Well, then add time gating to how much you can upgrade or something. I don't know. I think there's other solutions than confusing tracks. Something that conflicts. You said have one type of quest and have a higher level drop more quest. Okay. And then it sucks if you upgrade the wrong item because the other item was higher level. I never said that. I said it sucks that you, let's say, disenchant an item and you realize later the one that you disenchanted could have actually been upgraded higher than the one that you currently have. I don't see how they're contradicting each other though. That was more of like those are two separate points. Like one is, you can restore the item, sure. The point is that it's like, it's annoying, right? You can't restore all the time, and also like the restoration system in itself is annoying. It's annoying that I can't, by glance, understand which one is better to keep, if that makes sense. I think a huge issue with the current system is that currently the last 2 tracks of, say, champion level gear goes into hero and costs a crest that you need to upgrade hero track. That shit makes it confusing for casual players, I think. Yeah, I think all of it is confusing.